The right of reply.
Well, all right. In another development, the Nigerian Senate on Wednesday dismissed Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's attempt to return to legislative duties as skit-making and political theatrics. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, stated that Akpoti-Uduaghan's approach to the National Assembly, accompanied by what he called a mob carrying placards and chanting war songs, was confrontational and will not be tolerated. He maintained that until a competent court issues a definitive declaration that the suspension was unconstitutional, the Senate's action stands. He emphasized that enforcing court judgments is not the responsibility of the litigant, but of the court bailiffs. In the same vein, a member of the House of Representatives, Clement Jimbo, of the All Progressives Congress, has urged the Nigerian Parliament to advise the Judiciary to deliver clear and unambiguous judgments. Jimbo expressed concerns over court rulings that are open to multiple interpretations, leading to confusion and exacerbating internal crisis, especially within political parties. Let's take a look.
And as members of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, I think it is important for us to advise our judiciary that judgment of court should be simple, with clear explanation and simple English, devoid of any ambiguity, so that any party that reads the judgment can understand and derive one single interpretation. We are elected to make laws for the progress, prosperity, and security of our nation. And where judgment from our court is subject to mitigating that very responsibility, it calls for concern, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we, as members of the Parliament, should not sit aloof and allow judgment that emanate from our court to be subject of different interpretations.
I mean, this is actually what we were talking about yesterday, Vimbai, and this is Dr. Abati raised that point actually. And you know, talking about the Senate spokesman, Adaramodu, who is insisting that the Federal High Court judgment did not invalidate Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension. Instead, it only ordered her to apologize, pay a 5 million naira fine, and retract a social media post, a ruling she has already appealed. He argued that it is baffling for someone to appeal a court order and then try to enforce it as if it were final. Meanwhile, other attorneys like Falana that I raised yesterday have interpreted the judgment as binding. And I thought to just emphasize on this point that this, APC rep has made, which is we cannot leave these judgments ambiguous. Quickly.
Well, let's start with the skit-making comment, which is that the reason why a lot of people felt that what Senator Natasha did the other day was almost content creation or skit-making is because she's already addressing the matter before the courts. So when you know that your issue is pending in the courts, why then come and create this type of scene, if not that you're courting attention and, just trying to almost make a mockery of the process. So that's where that is coming from. However, having said that, on that CTC itself, I feel that we shouldn't trivialize this issue because it's a very big issue. I've spoken about it before, and I've said that what we're discussing and debating here is the separation of powers, and we are testing the limits on the separation of powers, which is that the judiciary cannot influence what happens within the legislature, except when fundamental rights within the legislature have been violated. In this case, the judge was very clear in saying that she felt that fundamental rights had been violated. But why not go ahead and say, okay, you've given us your opinion, no problem. Given this,
Here's the order.
Here we go. Because she's saying that, fine, the Senate rules were violated and so forth, but the punishment was too excessive. No problem. How do we give justice? Because you're there to remedy what you feel is an injustice. Right. And I think that's where the chaos now happens here, because you've given us your motivation that there's an injustice. You've concluded that there's an injustice, but you're not giving us a remedy for that injustice, which is why somebody would, I don't support self-help. But this is why somebody would now delve into self-help, because the judge is on my side, but the judge, what is stopping the judge?
Yes.
And that raises many other questions that we don't have time to delve into today. But for me, the question is, what is stopping the judge from prescribing the remedy for the injustice that she has observed has taken place?
Yes, well, I hope that the Nigerian Parliament takes note of this conversation, and kudos to that APC rep who's raised this point about ambiguous judgments.